Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is petplatypus here, and it's time to review a couple more episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho, episodes 61 and 62. Episode 61, this was actually a pretty badass episode. In terms of the technicals, the animation was actually quite good. The overall pacing was fine for the most part. One part that was really slow, I'll get to in a minute. And the story progression was... You know, it's a fight, so I can't really judge the story progression too much, but the fight has moved forward, I guess, fairly significantly for a couple of reasons I'll get into. But the basic summary is Yusuke and Toguro start fighting. It's really cool. Nice, cool, dynamic shots. He goes 80% right out the gate. And what ends up happening is the fact that he's just in 80%, like he's 80% power, and just that fact alone is like causing dudes in the audience to die. Fucking Koenma has to freaking put up a little shield, and fucking little Poof puts up, well, not Poof, Pooh puts up his shield to protect the girls. And it's like, holy shit, just the fact that you're there, his presence alone at 80% is like slaying motherfuckers, so that's pretty badass. But yeah, they start fighting, and it's really cool, nice dynamic shots, a couple of close calls, Yusuke lands a few hits, they're not really doing any damage. But yeah, some really cool shots. You know, he lands a punch, fucking sends like this shockwave into the wall. He destroys the entire arena. Not like the whole arena, but like the stage that they're on, the ring. And then Yusuke, midair, fucking from the top rope, midair, fucking upside down spirit gun. And this shit's nasty as fuck. Like, this was disgustingly epic. Hits him, sends him flying like at least like 2 or 3 miles, I swear, just going and going and going, Energizer Bunny going. And he crashes into like this cave, and then there's some talking about how Togoro's probably down for the count and blah blah blah, and it's obvious that he's not. The ring is destroyed, there are no boundaries, there's no ring outs. That was funny when Kuwabara's like, you better start counting like you always do with me. Because like, he always gets wrung out, it seems like, but... Anyways, I don't know, the fact that that didn't do anything to Toguro kind of is disappointing because it was such an epic attack by Yusuke, but I suppose it just goes to show how fucking strong Toguro is. And like I said, in terms of story progression, the fact that the fight started, and, you know, he's a little torn up, lost his shades, the arena's gone, the rules have changed, there's no more ring outs, there is a decent amount of story progression here and there-ish. You know, it's just fighting, but it's not, you know, bad or nothing. The combat was cool. The only thing I didn't like was when Yusuke charged up the spirit gun for like a month and didn't even fire it. Like, I've seen long power-ups for moves. I'm like, okay, this is a long power-up, but whatever, not a big deal. I've seen One Piece, I've seen Dragon Ball, whatever. But then he didn't even fire the attack, and that was like, okay, you lost me. Like, you had me, I was like, okay, you're charging up the attack, whatever. Then he didn't even fire it, and I was like, okay, that's a no-no, don't do that. But yeah, and like I said, the animation was great, especially when he was getting thrown around. It looked like he was going to get hurt by that, the way he was screaming and groaning about it, but apparently it didn't even hurt him. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. So, Yusuke and Toguro, it's off to a pretty damn good start. It's definitely not the best fight of the tournament so far, but... well, maybe the best fight... Well, it's probably Yusuke's best fight so far, I'd say, in terms of, like, pacing and, like, just the way it's set up and the actual things that are happening. But it's definitely not, I don't know, it's definitely not the arc-ending fight yet, but I'm sure it will be in coming episodes. This is just round 1, you know, a taste of what's to come. So, I'll probably give this episode around like an 8 out of 10 to an 8.5. I thought it was a very good to great episode of Yu Yu Hakusho, really liked it. Let's see what happens in episode 62. Dude, he's too OP! Oh my god, episode 62. Of Yu Yu Hakusho. Beyond Overpowered. That's the title of this review. Holy fucking shit. So, we get the aftermath of Yusuke's fucking beastly epic spirit gun. What the fuck, send dude for miles. And Toguro shows up. He's not that hurt. And what ends up happening is Yusuke has these shackles on. And what he ends up doing is we get a flashback of Genkai putting the shackles on him, which we never saw before, which is kind of like, what the fuck, but she put these shackles on him, and basically he has to use his full power all the time just to hold these things back, so he's constantly kind of handicapped. But once he just unleashes them, then he has access to all that power, and there's no handicap, there's nothing restraining him. So he does that, summons this crazy blue fire Articuno Phoenix fucking thing, and it flies around, it goes back inside of him, and he's all badass and shit, and it's a cool scene and all that. Then he goes ham on Toguro, just rapid punch, orda for days, just rapid punch the face, the gut, slams him into the ground. It was pretty badass when he made him cough up blood, and the huge crater and everything, but then Yusuke backs off. He's like, whoa, this guy, no, whoa, hold up. This guy's got a second trick up his sleeve. So what ends up happening is he gets all skinny, Toguro does, buffs up. By the way, the technicals just real fast. Animation was great. Well, not great, it was good. But, you know, not bad at all. I'm not like, when I say it's not great, I don't mean there's anything really wrong with it. It just wasn't like mind-blowing animation. It was good though. And, the pacing was overall very nice, and the story progression was kind of just more fighting, but, you know, he went to 100% power, so, you know, there's that. Just want to get that out of the way before I forget. But yeah, he's powering up while skinny. He's like, you passed the test. Full power, and he's like green, and his muscles are shifting and shit, and it's disgusting and gross, but kind of epic at the same time. The announcer chick puts on sunglasses, that was funny. And, there's a scene where someone says, Yusuke, finish him off before he gets to 100% power. And Yusuke's like, I'm not gonna do it, because I'm curious. And I'm like, really? Like, that is so Dragon Ball. Like, when Goku was waiting for Frieza to go 100% power, and King Kai's like, kill him before he gets 100%, and Goku's like, I can't, I want to fight him at his best, I'm curious to see what it's like, I'm not gonna fight regret, whatever. It was the same exact situation. Toguro's already just like Frieza in terms of having percentages for his power. Whatever. That scene was just literally taken right out of Dragon Ball. Like, that's like more than just a reference. That's like a full-blown, like, practically like a plot point, but whatever. He's at fucking Hundo Cent, fucking 100% power, and he's disgusting. He's like flicking the air with his thumb, and he's just like devastating bullets. And then Yusuke goes for this punch, and I remember this from the manga. It's a really memorable shot. Thumb block. Like, when you can block someone with a thumb, you're beyond overpowered. Like, that's beyond hacked. So that's just fucking... I don't even know what that is. That's beyond disgusting. That's beyond life, dude. Like, I've never seen in any other series someone just block with their thumb like that. Well, in the video game Asura's Wrath, there's a scene kind of like that. But I mean, Asura's Wrath is like, what the fuck, overpowered also. If you haven't played that game, you should check it out. It's like an anime, like, literally. Literally, it is like an anime that you can, like, play, kind of. But yeah, Yusuke is basically fucked. He gets his arm broken in one punch, and he gets punched over through the stadium, coughing up blood. He's pretty much down for the count. Not completely, but, I mean, everyone's talking about how fucking hopeless it is that he will not win this fight. And, yeah, I mean, like I said, in terms of story progression, the fight continued. Yusuke got a huge power-up. Toguro got a huge power-up. We're seeing him at 100% for, you know, the first time. And, he looks disgusting and crazy. And we're seeing Yusuke's, you know, he's more powerful. Oh, he does like a spirit gun, and dude's like fucking pecs. Like, his pecs just inflate, and he just tanks that spirit gun. A spirit gun we could assume is as strong as the last one he just used, and that didn't do any damage either, but at least it sent him flying. This time he was just like, oh, sorry, bro. Was that a mosquito, son? No, but it was absolutely crazy. I thought it was a pretty damn good episode, showcasing their power and everything, and overall, it's definitely interesting to see how Yusuke is going to get out of this predicament. This is stuff I do kind of remember from the manga. I do kind of know how the rest of this fight's going to play out a little bit, not everything, but this is around where I stopped reading the manga. Like, I finished Dark Tournament, I got a little bit into the next arc, and then I just kind of fell out of it. So at a point in the middle of like the next arc after this, it's going to be completely fresh for me, so that'll be exciting. But I can't wait to see how they animate it. The animation's been pretty good for 2 episodes in a row, 2 or 3 now. So, yeah, probably give this episode around like an 8 out of 10 to an 8.5 again. Same score, very good to great episode. The fight's definitely really good so far. I definitely want to see kind of a more even fight, though. I don't know how Yusuke's going to power up, but I definitely want to see more of a even struggle between the two. Because if it kind of just goes back and forth, like, Togoro's dominating, well then Yusuke dominated. Now Togoro's dominating, then Yusuke gets a power up, then Yusuke's dominating. It's okay that way, but I prefer a nice, hardcore, equal, even, straight-up battle. But we'll just see where things go. So yeah, like I said, an 8.5, an 8 to 8.5, very good to great episode, somewhere in between there. Thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys thought of these episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys later. Follow me on Instagram, and bye.